tell you that we started recording. So, hi, friends. Today I have Maddie, and we met at Banyan House as yoga instructors together. And I feel like we vibed because we were like the youngest kind of people there for sure. So, she's a yoga instructor, Reiki practitioner, business owner, candle maker, overall bad bitch. What else do you do? I know there's like a laundry list of things that you're doing right now. So, what are all of them?
So actually right now I'm kind of gearing all of the above more towards the moon cycles and
Mhm.
to influence these different things that, we I guess connect to on a day-to-day basis. So even whether it's like moon and sun salutations we do in yoga or different flows that we do based on certain times of the month because well, one, as women, we are also cyclical beings and
Mhm.
so is the moon. So we are so much more connected to the universe than we realize, not just women, but all humans. We have
Yeah.
kind of stepped away from our deep connection with the earth like every other animal has. So
Mhm.
I've been doing a lot of self-reflection and just kind of realizing how I want to connect closer to the earth and to the different cycles that are around us on a day to day and just bringing that connection a little bit closer. That has been making me happy the most and
No.
able to again guide my own practice. And I think that just by connecting with the moon in different ways, that we can all become a little bit more connected to ourselves and connected to nature and connected to the world that is around us, and actually acknowledging what external factors are influencing us in our day-to-day lives. Because when the new moon is coming or the new moon is happening, there's this like newness in the air. There's this
Mhm.
Yes, there's this, okay, this is what I want to start now, starting new projects, things like that. But the
Mhm.
moon illuminates, all the shadows, all the things that we didn't see before within that process of building that we need to release so we can keep moving towards that journey. And we, again, are so disconnected that we don't realize how much the moon affects us. The moon changes the tides of the ocean. And we have,
Mhm.
so obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously, but of course,
Mhm.
can affect us as well, whether we're cyclical beings or not. So it's just one of those things that, whether we are moving through a yoga practice or how we treat Reiki or how we heal our bodies and how we are, I guess, creating our lives can be around this, cyclical space that's going to encourage us deeper into our journey and on our path. And it's going to help us because the universe is on our side. So
Yeah.
once we acknowledge that the universe is here for us and we acknowledge where we're at and how the influences guide us in different ways, then we can achieve our highest potential just by working
Mhm.
ourselves and the universe that is around us. So, long story long, finding a lot more self-care routines and ways to share with other people of how we can, connect deeper with ourselves by connecting with nature. And a lot of the time it is connecting with, doing things for yourself so that you can find those spaces and those things that feel good to you. So
Mhm.
do a lot of different things, but those types of things honestly are just from being a multidimensional being and also trying to figure out where we want to rest at,
Yeah.
to explore. So right now I'm in definitely a space of exploration and just trying new things.
Mhm. I love it. I love watching your journey on Instagram. I'm like, "Oh, she's an artist now. Okay, she's painting." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, of course she is, because she does it all." And I love it, and I support all of it. So how did you get into, like, all of this? Or I guess, how did the spiritual life find you? What's your story behind all of that?
So when I was a kid, I was raised Roman Catholic and
Mhm.
my mom was very not in tune with the religion at all. So my parents and then, then on deeper, whatever, they were all very into this strict way of living life. And then my parents really went the opposite extreme and were just kind of no to most religious practices. We went to church sometimes, but it was really only with pastors or priests that we really felt, I guess, this realness or this authenticity.
Mhm.
Only time we really felt like we could connect. So
Yeah.
I didn't really go to church. It was never really a thing. And then when I really started my yoga journey, I would just do like certain yoga classes here and there. But there was this one yoga class I took with my mom, my junior or senior year of high school. I think it was my junior year of high school. And it was this beginner candlelit yoga class. And we were just the visualizations that this woman, I remember it so vividly. It's like everyone remembers their vivid, like, yoga
Mhm.
exchange of,
Yeah.
for me, it was yoga always. And it was this visualization that this woman had where it was like your eyes are melting down your face and you're just feeling this like,
Mm.
and the visual, I'm a very visual person, so I was able to feel that happening, and it just actually allowed me to cry and to release. And from the time when I was going through a lot of different things, it just helped me actually acknowledge those things. And I didn't really know any of that until fast forward a couple of years into the future, where I started developing a more consistent yoga practice because I like to work out like that rather than
Mhm.
lifting weights like all the time. I mean, that's occasional, but not every day. We don't need to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
The flow with my body, so I got more into that space. And then I just got inspired to become a yoga teacher from there. But ultimately, yoga was the first step into my self and into my spirituality, which is acknowledging that there's so many complexities within my own self. It's
Mhm.
it taught me how to feel more than
Yeah.
how to feel, and that was like a slap in the face.
Yeah. When you're, like, stone cold to, like, feeling, you're like, "Shit, how did I end up here?"
Yes, and Shavasana was I mean, just being able to connect deeper and deeper with every Shavasana that you're in, especially when you're taking hot yoga classes and you're just feeling this immense energetic release and you're just
Mm.
there, like it's a whole other dimension. It's a whole other space to just really sit with yourself and be honest with yourself and to notice the things that come up because it's what's affecting your current life. And I think
Yeah.
again, yeah, yoga taught me how to feel. It taught me how to give space to myself. It taught me how to give space to other people. And it just allowed me to, yeah, connect with my higher self more than anything, to listen to
Mhm.
beautiful spirit or this beautiful soul that's just chilling in the background and
Yeah.
bring her to the front seat rather than the back
Yeah.
seat.
Oh, I love that. A little yoga queen, we love to see it. Did you have, like, an image when you were younger of, like, "This is what I wanted to be," or did you always just kinda, like, were you always, like, a flowy type, you know?
I was always, when I was a kid, the first thing that my parents ever got me was an easel. So I've actually been
Mm.
anything else. And that's where I felt like I always was in an art class or always doing something where I was expressing myself creatively or
Mhm.
just, using my hands a lot and being in that type of space. And I think that kind of set the scene for me always wanting to work with my hands or always wanting to create something really cool or really different or whatever. But honestly, the main thing that I thought I was going to be was a writer. Um,
Mm.
School for 1 year, to college for 1 year, and it was to be a journalism major, which I can definitely see it playing out in other forms of my life, but definitely not in your typical journalism manner.
Yeah.
For because I love to research. I'm super curious about life and super curious about different things. And I just want to learn everything, which is
Mhm.
overwhelming sometimes, which is also kind of shows in different parts of my life. But it's also one of those things that draws me back to, self and allows you to express self in a lot of different ways and kind of pick and choose how you want to express yourself in different ways. But I kind of forgot what the original question was. But
That's okay. You basically answered it. I asked what you like, if you had an image of what you were gonna be when you were younger, but
oh,
I mean we got on the easel topic and it just unfolded from there.
I think that I think it's more, again, very free flowing, very going back and forth. But the thing about being an artist is you can do it in a lot of different ways, which is pretty,
Mhm.
and life for hopefully we can hope for is very long in the sense that we can do multiple things at different parts of our lives. So it's like not trying to container ourselves or put ourselves in a box. And I feel like I've been trying to allow myself to explore so then I can start to narrow in on how I want to bring all these things together. Because I'm like, I could be a painter and a writer who puts poems on my paintings and things like that. So it's
Ooh,
so
yeah.
different ways you can do things. It's just allowing yourself to be creative and have fun. And that's
Yeah.
to stem more into rather than treating life so serious. I think that I tend to do that. My moon sign's in Capricorn.
Mm.
I tend to, I guess, maybe try to make money out of or like naturally is almost like trying to justify what I'm doing by having this income or by
Mhm.
earn when you can just have hobbies and just have things that you love to do. And
Yeah.
society, we're kind of taught that those extra things are like a waste of time, or we're not productive, or we're not propelling ourselves forward, when really that time is propelling you forward. And taking that time to research and like be with yourself and to learn something new, that is continual growth that's going to push you even to a different path that you want to go. So yeah,
Yeah.
open. I'm and bring it all together in some way.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. Like anytime I find myself being like decently good at something, I'm like, I need to be the best at it, and then I have to try to sell it. Which I don't know if it's like culture in America to just profit off of everything you can do, or if it is like masculine energy that is living inside of me, because I've just been like, that's such a hot topic in my mind lately. And I know that you post a lot about it. And for me, especially, I think like the really work hard businesswoman, all that shit is stemming from a wounded masculine side of me, that I think I had for sure an imbalance, and I think I still do. I'm obviously working towards it now that I'm aware of it, but when I wasn't aware of it, I just like didn't know what to do with it, and I think it just created chaos. So can you tell us a little bit about like maybe if you see any masculine energy within yourself, and just kind of like, obviously we all have masculine and feminine energy. Women have masculine energy, men have feminine energy. Just kind of like your view on all of that and your insight.
I love to lean into my masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Masculine
Feels good.
loves to just be there in my ear all the time, telling me all the things I should do, and then I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been noticing that, or I feel like maybe just as I feel, or I've always felt that I've been an intuitive human or just being that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm connected with my feminine. Like, I do yoga, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not all you need to do. And that's part of the connection with earth that I was talking about earlier, and truly being in a state of being, because the masculine is a state of doing. It's a
Yeah.
state of just, it's fire energy, it's air energy. It's constantly flowing, constantly either creating or destroying. It's just constantly going.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need that balance, no matter who you are, what gender you are. It's like you need that balance of masculine and feminine, because the feminine is what keeps you in place, grounded in this energy, and in your energy, in your body, in your moment, so that you can do and create and do all the things that you want to do. It's like the feminine for me, I've noticed, is just truly building self-awareness, taking care of myself and putting that first, living on my own time, living,
Mm-hmm.
prioritizing myself. And I noticed that, again, wounded masculine energies, I need to dish out all of my energy to support other people and to be there for other people, rather than taking the time and energy to give to myself first. And now, even just, I mean, before I used to rush through my meals, like I wouldn't cook as much because it would take so much time, or I'd have to meal prep a lot, or like, and I would
Mm-hmm.
thinking about all the other things that I have to do, that I wasn't prioritizing the things that me to do those things, like to ground in that space, acknowledge what my body needs, what kind of fuel it needs, whether that's food, whether that's my spirituality, and like just connecting with myself, meditation, yoga, a lot of different things to fuel me to do what I need to do. And I think that even just society, I mean, it's wounded masculine, but I think that's a lot of where our society is at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not feeling like we need to be doing to be productive. It's like by taking time to acknowledge where you are, what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you feel while you're doing it, that allows you to figure out what it is you want to keep doing in the future. And I think that we forget about that step, and we're just doing things with no intention of why we're doing them. And then we're sent down a road that we don't even know how we got there. And sometimes it's, I don't like to say negative or positive. I mean, it can be,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is here to serve us, and there's nothing good or bad. It's just, we could go deep into that too.
Yeah.
Whatever experience that we are experiencing, we know what is right for us and what isn't. And sometimes we get led down this road. How the hell did I even get here? Because we weren't able to truly connect with our space and ourselves. And I've just been literally the past couple of months had this, I guess, I don't like to say spiritual awakening, because we have multiple of those throughout our life.
Yeah.
Like, whole other light bulb and epiphany, just this moment where I'm like, how did I get this far down the road? I am grateful that I got this far, how I got this far, but it's like I
Mhm.
even feeling even better or feeling even more myself if I just took the time to be with myself and to
Mhm.
have fun with myself and to truly express myself in all forms and all ways. But how do you do that without acknowledging that? Or like, how do you do that without knowing what it is you want to do or how you want to do it? So
Mhm.
I think for me, I've definitely just been allowing myself to feel the fluctuation and to when I catch myself wanting to give to other people first, or like, oh, I didn't eat lunch yet and I'm gonna go take yoga. It's like, or I need to go support this person in this way. It's like
Mhm.
to fuel my body so then I can show up for you. It's like again,
Yeah.
we talk about it as yoga teachers all the time, but sometimes again we just need it over like repeated over and over again, or just really just thinking in a different way. It's like, yeah, I give to myself, it's like I do yoga, but it's like there's so many more ways that we should be connecting with ourselves and prioritizing ourselves so that we can again show up for other people. And I think that's where that quote comes in. It's like just by you showing up and just by you giving to you, you're giving to me. And
Yeah.
I ever truly believed that because again, my own masculine, I guess, wound has been, nope, you just got to keep giving. You just got to keep giving. And that's how a lot of the
Mhm.
do. Very giving creatures, never
Yeah.
giving for themselves. And it's really hard for me to receive and also receive from other people. And that's kind of how the world goes around is by like, if you just keep dishing out your energy, you're not going to have anything left.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then it's just really connecting with yourself and
Yeah.
not do things all the time. It's like you can be.
I love No, I love it, and I love what you said about the feminine energy feels what's kinda going on versus, like, the doing, because something for me that's, like, so aligned with today is obviously, we talked before this about a decision that's gonna have to be made on my end, and I'm also a server, and I went to my meeting in the morning, and, like, I know that that's such a, like, silly thing, and people shit on servers and anyone in the service industry, like, "What are you doing with your life?" But I was there, and I was really checking in today thinking about how I felt, and I was at the meeting, and I was like, "Yo, I love all of these people." Like, no, this isn't what I, like, am supposed to be doing, and I could get other yoga jobs and all that, but, like, maybe I'm just happy here. Like I also have the opportunity to teach yoga. I have the time by working a weird schedule with serving to, fill up my business. But it was just weird to like actually sit there and take away the thought of this is what I should be doing and or I shouldn't be doing, I guess. And I was sitting there, I was like, I feel good being here. Like I shouldn't in this world where we shit on like people in the service industry, but I'm sitting here and I'm happy as fuck, and that's okay. And I'm gonna accept that, and I'm not gonna tell myself I need to fit in this box. I'm just gonna sit here and accept, yeah, I feel good here, and fuck what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't care because I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that make me laugh. They're funny. It's light. I make money. I don't need to like alter my life if I'm feeling good. Maybe I just answered my question to that big thing right here, but yeah, I don't know. I really like how you mentioned that. And something else I wanted to touch on was the receiving, because I know in like that plays into relationships, and that's something I've recognized within myself. It's hard to be on the receiving end, like the oh wow, you love me. I have to sit here and accept that now. That's kind of hard. So did you find that like challenge of because I'm pretty sure you are in a relationship right now, right? Is it, like, hard for you in relationships to also receive, or do you think you're able to, like, kind of alter that energy when you are in a relationship?
Let me tell you, this is my first relationship in a while, and it's like a big mirror.
Mhm, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've definitely experienced an ebb and flow within my relationship, especially because we have moved into the same place too, like that we live together as
Oh,
well.
shit.
So when you have that constant mirror all the time, it also, for me anyway, I can receive in certain ways. It's like I can receive or actually, I don't really know how to explain. I don't know how to receive because now that I'm talking about it out loud, it's like
Mhm,
some ways, but even when he'll do something for me, like cook for me or offered a massage or offer to like do certain things, I'm like, are you sure? Only if you're like, only if
Mhm.
energy, I know it's been a long day type thing, or it's like, because, but then there are also times where I give a lot too. And then there are times that I almost expect the same in return.
Yes.
And that's also a different thing, just like in a sense of, I don't know, where is it coming from? And it's like, I shouldn't just have to feel like, and the difference is just doing something because you want to do it rather than doing it because you feel like you have to. And then also
Mhm.
just the women in my family who just do that too. They constantly dish out their energy and expect people to just give it back to them too. So I've definitely had a lot of ego checks. Moments where I'm also a Cancer. So naturally, I am very good at molding to my environment. I'm very good at
Mhm.
flow. I'm very absorbent. Like I like to try new things. I like to experiment new ways of living life. And my boyfriend lives a very different mentality than I do. So he like, and but not as much of a cyclical being in that way too. Can work a 9 to 5 all day, every day, the whole day, the whole month, you know?
Mhm.
And he works for himself too, but he has like that discipline that can do that.
Yeah.
I tried to do that for a little while we were living together and just being in that space. And I just kind of realized that that doesn't work for me. And because I was in that space, I didn't know how to truly express myself anymore because I kind of got lost in this flow away from my spirituality, away from just like certain things that I naturally used to practice. And then I had to step back and ask myself, is this him or is this me? And I noticed that it's me. And
Mhm.
to have that almost individuality because a lot of the relationships in my family are very like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's like a beautiful thing is like being two people being able to come together that way. But it's also so important to have that individuality. And I think within that space, now that I've stepped more into that and more expressing myself, that I'm in a better place to give. I can give less, but it's a better quality of giving. And
Mhm.
just the aptitude of just, or I don't know if that's the right word, but just the reciprocation, I guess, that I feel is a lot more authentic and less forced because it's he's seeing me in a different light and he's appreciating me in a different light that I've been able to actually incorporate certain things into my life to make me a better human. And just by doing that, it overall influences the relationship. And when you express yourself more, it's like people can appreciate yourself more. If you show more,
Yeah.
people can appreciate that more. And I think that within that space, I guess just there's this less of like a reciprocation and more just like a flow of giving and receiving.
Mhm.
Start to feel, amazing. And I think that again, it goes to show just the difference of embracing 100% who you are and allowing yourself to be in that space, but also allowing yourself to have those ebbs and flows and allowing yourself to learn and like to learn from other people, but also learn most from yourself.
Yeah.
And by doing that, there already is this ebb and flow of giving and receiving, whether in your relationship or not. It's just the people that you're around when you show up for yourself and you're just able to not hide who you are, then
Mhm.
give to you just because they see who you are and vice versa. Like, because that's who you are, you know? So
Yeah.
I've noticed the past couple of months, especially with just all the different planets everywhere and all these the full moon in Gemini brought a lot of clarity for me,
Mhm.
but there's just been a lot of things going on where it's hard
Yeah.
to, what was it, the full moon in Scorpio, no, new moon in Scorpio energy. Scorpio season was a shit show for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Again, the shadows, going inward, finding that part of yourself and getting really muddy and all these different things, that when the full moon came up it was like a nice breath of fresh air to be like, okay, I can see this a little bit more clearly now. It's not just my ego saying that like I need to be here and do this with this person. It's just like I am where I am and I love it here.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think, I think it's hard in our society too as women because I find myself having the issue of not wanting to receive because I don't wanna feel needy or I don't wanna feel like, oh, like, sometimes I'm scared to say anything because you're falling into the category of a nag, which women have been labeled as any time they are clear on, like, boundaries, clear on their feelings, clear on their needs, their wants, their expectations, you're put into this bubble of, like, you're needy and you're naggy. Like, I could sit here and I could be complacent, but you're not gonna like it because I'm gonna build up a shit ton of resentment. So I think it's a lot of it is stepping into that, like, feminine power. Like, feminine energy can be soft, but it's also very powerful, and it's showing, like, I am a woman, but I also have like, I have needs and I have wants, and I'm not willing to settle because I'm scared of being put in a box. I think all women need to recognize, fuck the box, and if someone's gonna put you in a box, then maybe they're not for you anyway, because we're not meant to be shoved into a category of a specific type of person. So that's my little rant on that one.
Well, I've also noticed, like, again, just as givers, it's hard for us to ask for help.
Yes.
Hey, can you cook dinner tonight? Hey, can you do this? I'm just not feeling it today. It's like,
Yeah.
having that space, like, it's okay to do that. And I like feel like my boyfriend has created a very safe space for me.
Oh,
I just
I love
haven't, though. It's like, because I don't know how to take that space. Or at least at first I didn't. I'm still learning, and I'm still in that space of trying to, I guess, be more open or more clear about what I need, or saying it out loud, more or less. Again, express
Mhm.
what you need. And that is a little bit of the masculine energy too, like just in that space of expression and communication. But I think that there are times that I definitely forget to just like, or don't know how to ask for help without sounding needy or sounding like, oh, I need, it's like, well, I do need this, or I need support, because I
Mhm.
like, when we support so much other people, it's like we need that reciprocation too in another way. And it's that same thing. I mean, it's the same thing, just like using your voice and asking for help, and not, and knowing that if that person is not going to show up for you in that space, then again, they're probably not the right human.
Yeah. I love that, and I love that he creates a safe space for you. That makes my heart very, very happy. Um, and obviously, you've talked about the moon a lot so far, and I want like a beginner basis. Like, what are the moon phases? What are the energetic and spiritual, I guess, properties of each phase? So people that have no idea what you're talking about can be like, ah, I get it now.
Okay, well, when I talk to beginners or even myself, I like to simplify things as much as possible, especially with the moon phases. So
Hmm.
talk about the new moon and the full moon, because those are nice just to like pinpoints of each part of the month every 2 weeks, to really check in with yourself, and a journal, and to manifest, do whatever the hell you need to do to really get clear on where it is and where you are. And
Hmm.
moon cycles as my personal development. So it's like the new moon, set your intentions, full moon, release what is clouding your path to get there. So that's like really, really simple. But for the new moon, it's the darkest point of the moon cycle. In my brain, it's this blank slate, clear sky. Bring in all the things that you want. Like, write down, in my head, I think of it like the universe is your catalog
Hmm.
that you want. I mean, it's not free. It looks it in the moment. All the things that you want to write down, or all the things that you really want to bring into your life. And that can be, and it should be really specific. But that's why I like journaling, period. Journal, always journal every day, journal full moon on the minimum, those 2 days.
Yes.
But that's why journaling at first is just the best way to get clear on what it is that is missing from your life, or what it is you want to bring in, or what isn't satisfying you in your life at the moment right now. So when we think of it as, okay, my ideal life looks like this. This is what I think that I want. Write it all down and like be super specific. The house you want to live in, or the place you want to be in, the job that you want, how much money you want to make, the people you want to be surrounded by. And it's that can even get overwhelming sometimes. You're like, shit, this is not.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like a lot of people are almost turned off by doing it, is because they don't want to have that acknowledgement of saying that their life is, and I don't want to say it like this, but a shit show.
Uh-huh.
Feel good with. And I think that that acknowledgement or that clarity is really scary to a lot of people, because the ego is like, no, we're good, we're fine, we're like here doing it. I'm like, you need to bring yourself back to here. Like, and that's what the full or the new moon is all about, is coming back to yourself, getting really clear on what it is you want to start to bring into your life, so that the rest of the month or the moon cycle, that's what we're working towards. And the full moon is the peak, so it's the center, like the middle of the of the cycle and to return us, eventually back to the new moon. But the full moon is now, nothing is dark. Everything,
Mhm.
all the shadows are out right now because the moon is at its brightest and it's shining its light on not just you, but your insecurities, the things that are going on, again, the shadow selves, the shadow work really comes through at this time. The
Mhm.
people, the situations, the jobs, all those things that are not working anymore. And this is to aid you throughout the month and the cycle to now your new moon intentions are following with you. And now you're at the new moon or the full moon phase. And now it's like, okay, well, what do I need to release now so that I can keep working on these goals to keep moving forward? And a lot of the time, for me, I think a lot of, again, what do I need to release? What are the things that are building up that aren't working for me anymore? And that, again, a lot of the time it's habits, just like self
Mhm.
do the things that we're not doing. And it's just that replenish of new energy, of free energy, free flowing energy, a lot of feminine energy and connection. So we're really connecting with our intuition at this phase, really connecting with our inner selves. It's a lot of introspection and it's a lot of release, which is also why there's a lot of energy surrounding the full moon. People are like, what is going on? The full moon happening? Yeah, because we're affected by it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of this buildup, this surge of energy that gives us the energy to release those things. So it's actually a blessing when we're able to, I guess, have the support of the universe and the moon cycles to give us that extra oomph for the extra energy to bring in and to release. So that's why I don't even really like New Year resolutions. Like I'll put them
Mhm.
to have this reflection over a year span and to really look through all those things. But at the same time, when we put so much pressure on ourselves to get
Mhm.
a whole list of things in a year, and it's allowing ourselves with these month to month, with which whatever sign that it's in that's guiding, for the new moon, normally whatever season we're in. So this new moon in Capricorn, we're in Capricorn season. So the energy of this season is allowing ourselves to get grounded, to get back into our bodies, to feel where we are, but also to notice or to ask ourselves what our definition of success is, because Capricorn's pretty like hard-headed. They're a little bit more stubborn. Earth signs normally are. I have my
Mhm.
a little bit more analytical, more business oriented, that type of, just think of like that type of energy, like CEO energy.
Mhm.
So we're in like that space right now. And because now we're approaching full moon in Cancer, oh my God, it's literally all me right now. Cancer
Mhm.
in Capricorn.
Spotlight's on.
But now that we're in full moon in Cancer, we're balancing this energy out with, they're literally opposites. The Capricorn is literally December and then Cancer is in July. So we have this, I guess, juxtaposition of energies connecting with the physical body, but now we're connecting with the emotional body. So for the new moon intentions, it's like, well, what do I want to bring in for the new year? What do I want to start to cultivate? What kind of habits, especially, what kind of habits we need to start to create so we can get to where we want to go?
Mhm.
A lot of feminine energy and a lot of grounding and a lot of self-awareness. But then the full moon in Cancer, now we're connecting with our emotional body and our really, again, getting really introspective with self. And if we feel home in our bodies, if we feel at home and safe with ourselves, we feel safe expressing ourselves and being who we are and stepping into that energy. Because now we're coming into Aquarius season 2 after that, like more closer to the new moon. But with all of that energy coming through, it's allowing yourself to be free within your own body. So that's a little bit more specific, I guess, on what is actually happening right now. But again, the new moon is about bringing in, and the full moon is about letting go. There's more of like that manifestation energy and the intuitive energy that's coming through.
Mhm.
We're finding these, again, there's still juxtapositions in themselves too, but in between those phases are the waning gibbous, the waxing gibbous. These are the phases that bring those two together. That's when we're working on those things. So the new moon is, we're starting to get inspired and get creative, and we're starting to make those things happen. And then we realize, shit, I'm doing so many things at once that I
Mhm.
need to and let some things go. And that's when the full moon allows you to release so you can keep moving forward. Because if you keep bringing more and more things in, think like if you're carrying shit on your shoulder, you're carrying things on your shoulders. It's like, okay, you have all this stuff on here already from just your life now. Well, let's
Mhm.
bring to it. Let's bring more onto it.
Mhm.
building until you can't manage everything that's going on. So you have to process so that you're not working yourself over time all the time, and that you have space to still be with yourself while you're still working on your goals. But that's what's beautiful about goals and about things that I mean, society loves to put goals as I guess materialistic things. But
Mm-hmm.
goals, at least right now is the prime time to set self goals of what you need to do so that you can accomplish these things, because those things are always going to be there, but you're only going to be able to get there if you have the consistency with yourself, the discipline, the right nutrition, the right I guess mindset. And that just doesn't come overnight. You got to work on that, and that's the hardest part of anything, is just giving that space to yourself so that you can do those things. So we're in a very feminine space. Again, we're also in the winter time, which
Mm-hmm.
again, deep phase of reflection, introspection, intuitive. We're in the water. It's like the water season.
Mm-hmm.
Very like in this space of reflection, and we're gonna be here for a little while longer. So it's like, don't put so much pressure on yourself to be doing all the time right now. Give yourself that space to be. So when the spring comes and everything starts to grow again, that's when we start to give ourselves that momentum and that energy. Now the habits that we've created in the winter are like serving us so well to start to keep building and keep growing into, if you want to be visual, to grow into a full flower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're at the roots right now. Might be a little bit, but we're in the ground. And
Yeah.
all that stuff to grow is we need to create those habits and those things to get there. So that was a long story long, and I might have gone like
That's okay. We learned a lot about the signs too. A lot of stuff that I know some stuff about science. I'm definitely not as aware of it as you. But learning the cancer stuff was really interesting, and I just love that there's always like I feel like the universe always finds a way to balance out whatever is going on, which I love. And this time too, you mentioned like feeling home in your body. And that's funny because I don't know that much about like the signs and like what they represent all the time. But this morning in my yoga class, I did like a safety in your body meditation, like focusing on your root chakra. So I'm very happy that it was aligned with this timing. We love to see it.
yeah.
Do you have any like rituals or practices that you would want to share with us? You
Mm,
don't have to share all of it because I know they're like probably sacred, but do you have any tips maybe for even beginners that want to start? They're like, "Oh, I love this. This sounds so cool. What should I do on a full moon besides journal?" Like, do you have any tips of what they can incorporate just besides journaling? I know you sell candles, but
yeah. So I actually make new moon and full moon candles that have
mhm,
so each one is for, again, like I said, manifestation and intuition and reflection.
mhm,
So I mean, candle magic is super what am I trying to say? Fire magic is super powerful and quick. So
mhm,
that's a good thing. And it's also just a lot of energy like that you're
mhm.
using at a time. So you have to be super specific when you're doing candle magic or anything around lighting candles intentionally. Also,
Yes.
candles, if you are lighting them, that they are safe. They are soy wax essential oils, because you don't want that to negatively affect you either. But I like to light candles with certain mantras with each month or with each moon phase that inspires me in that moment. Especially, that's why journaling is super important, because it just gives you a stream of consciousness of where you are right now, so you can bring in whatever it is that you want to bring in. So again,
Mhm.
but also be just intentional with yourself, and you can also do more than one mantra. You can do more than one candle. You can do, that's what's nice about having multiple wicks too, is you can do a mantra for each wick.
Oh, I love that.
So for an example, for the new moon, I would do something like, I create miracles, or I am creating my own reality. I'm strong within myself and my roots. Or again, if you want to be more specific, I want to make X amount of money this month. I want to, or I am, no, I am making
I
X amount.
am.
Um, I am, if you want to paint, or you want to, I'm just using examples for me. If I'm
Mhm.
I want to get this painting done, or I want to be able to be creative 3 times a day. That's a lot, but that'd be awesome. For a month or something like that. It's like just be specific. You can be like general with where you're at right now, but then get specific about certain things you want to bring in. Um, I also like to take baths.
Mhm.
It really, especially in the full moon, I like to get really sensual with myself and just allowing myself to connect with my physical and my emotional body. So that can be taking a bath with yourself and just slowing down with some candles, some incense, and just actually touching and feeling your own body and your own space. And again, feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Mhm.
That's a big one that I like. Or just warm oil is really nice, massage oil, and just like
Yeah.
massage yourself. It's fun and this is something that I've learned more recently, but I feel like I always expected other people to massage me in some way.
Mhm.
My hands or like my neck on my own, but I always felt like it was so annoying to massage myself. But then the past month or so, I've been warming up some oil and massaging my own body and like, or just lotion if I don't have like enough oil or whatever. And
Mhm.
taking more than 3 seconds to put lotion on after the shower, just
Yeah.
flow, like actually feeling certain parts of your body and like noticing where you feel tense or sore or what's going on. And then you're actually allowing the flow to move or the blood flow to move through your body a little bit
Mhm.
smoothly too. So it's just being like the full moon is for me a very feminine and very spiritual time where I'm able to really go inward and again feel my body, feel my energy, feel where I'm at. And then the new moon is a little bit more, I don't want to say more fun, but it's a little bit more because both of them are so fun for me, but a little bit more energetic. So
Yeah.
you do with the new moon coming in, it's like this new cycle. So it's like I like to put my favorite music on and jam out. But yeah, those are just some things that I like to do
Mhm.
much interchangeable. You can touch, you can, put lotion on yourself or the new moon if that's what you feel, but it's also a very intuitive practice and
Yeah.
however take time to give to yourself. And
Yeah.
that's why these time like this time of or each time of the month is super important with just again being intentional with yourself and listening to yourself and what you need in the moment because each month is different. You might want to light a candle one day, you might be running around and all over the place, but you still want to connect with yourself. You can just hold your crystals and meditate for a moment. They're just
Mhm.
do where it's really just a matter of slowing down because
Yeah.
we're moving space and we're always running around all over the place that it's just a chance to slow down.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, especially with, like, having so much information accessible to us with social media, people kinda get overwhelmed. So instead of doing something that feels right for them, they're like, "But this person said to do this, and this person does this, and this person does that. So now I don't know what to do." And it's really nice to hear and to know that a spiritual practice or a ritual or a new moon experience can be something so simple. Like even even, after the shower, like you said, putting on lotion can be a ritual, and it can be a moment with yourself, and it can be a sensual experience connecting to your body. If
Yeah.
you have that slowness and that intention to it, it all comes down to your intention. I mean, today I went on a walk, and usually I'm like on a power walk listening to a podcast, but today I was like, this is going to be a very intentional walk. Like, I want to see, I want to feel, I want to experience. And it was just a completely different time. And it all comes down to intention. Sometimes my intention is to like just get some knowledge, get some my thoughts going with another podcast and go on a walk and feel good. But today's intention to just be was very different. So you could have two of the same like activities or experiences, but your intention creates all of what that is, which I love. And I love that you bring light to it. And since it's almost 3 o'clock, I want to ask my final question, which I love to ask. If you were in a room full of the entire world and they were all listening, fully paying attention to you, what would you say?
Mm, that's a good question. Say it one more time.
If you were in a room filled with the entire world and they were all present, listening, attentive, what would you say?
Hmm.
You could take a second. I know it's like a big one.
Um, if everyone was listening in the whole world, I would honestly start with a question like, what are you afraid of? Like,
Mhm.
it's like, what are we so afraid of when we want to express who we are in ourselves? And
Mm.
why do we feel so held back when we want to just be silly or be goofy or be quote unquote weird or crazy? It's like,
Mhm.
we are naturally these, I would say, we are these wild animals. We are
Yeah.
domesticated, which is such a weird term that I got from the Four Agreements. That book is amazing.
Mhm.
But so when you think of we're domesticated humans, we are in this whole other space of thinking again, we need to do certain things, we need to be a certain way in this society in order to live in the society that we live in. And I think that limits us in so many ways because society has this huge, I guess, idea of who we need to be in this space.
Mhm.
And while on the contrary, we should be embracing who we are individually and fully expressing who we are in every single aspect so we can bring more to what this society is. And I think that's even, I mean, it's happening more and more, which is really awesome. But I think
Mhm.
a little while just in our like history is like because people are afraid to actually open up and be who they are because especially medicine women or healers of the past like were killed for these types of things.
Mhm.
We're not, it's like now people are slowly coming out and doing more and more of what they want to do, but don't put people down for having different opinions or having different ways of life. We should be embracing all that we are and learning from each other in all different ways so we can connect deeper with ourselves because we are everything and we are nothing. We are,
Mhm.
one of us is special, but that also means none of us are special. And it's just one of those things, we all have a contribution to this planet, to this earth, to this space that we should be, again, like applauded for
Mhm.
are rather than shunned or stuck in a corner for who we are. And I think, or I guess, yeah, pushed further and further away. So, yeah, if everyone was listening to me right now, it's just embrace yourself, be everything that you are right here, right now, because again, life is too short to put yourself in a box. And whether or not you know what you want to do, just do it.
Mhm.
Because again, like you can be a yoga teacher, a Reiki healer, which I don't even like to say, a painter, I guess self-awareness coach. Like I could be so many things and you can be so many things and there's no limit on what we have to do or what we have to be.
Mhm.
I think that is the main message that needs to come out. And also just to give back to yourself. Is
Yeah.
to other people you need to give to yourself. And I think by embracing yourself, you are giving back to yourself. And you can embrace yourself in so many different ways. I just think we need to come back to that.
Mhm. I think you'd shake the world if you said that, so it would make me very, very happy.
Happy a lot of people would be like, get her out of here.
Loony bin, light her up, she's a witch. No, but I agree with everything you said, and I love it, and I would love for you to tell all my followers where they can find you, because I know that you do so much. You have so many events, you go to little markets and stuff, which seem really cool. So yeah, where can they find you?
So my Instagram is just Maddie Maddie.eunis, and that's my main page where I really just talk about every and anything. My more specific page for, I guess, my spiritual shop would be mads.manifestations. And my website is madsmanifestations.com. So I also do moon blogs. So I'll give you an idea of kind of the different things, whether it's rituals, different mantras, different essential oils, herbs to work with, things like that for each part of the moon cycle. And that'll also be on madsmanifestations.com. So if you're ever into even just getting closer or more into the moon cycles, it's definitely a nice place to start. But I always say that, again, listen to yourself and your intuition when you're doing different works with your or intuitive spiritual practices with yourself. But, if you need some inspiration, I'm here for you.
Mhm.
Main ways to reach out to me. and I have a lot of link trees in my bio and things like that. So
And check out the newsletter. Dude, I was reading it right before this and I loved it. I was like, shit. I
yes,
love getting those because it's just like that little reminder that you need, especially on days where you might be a little disconnected. I'm like,
I
damn,
love
she's right. Oh.
love letters. Again, on my website, there's a link that says love letters. So just click there, my newsletter, and it's free. It's just I don't like to call it a list. I like to call it a community. So it's my
Mhm.
community where I just reach out to people and we talk through that too. So and you
Yeah.
get me.
Yay. I love it. So I'm gonna end it here, but I wanna ask you a question after. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop recording. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yay! For listening.
I always forget how to stop the recording. Oh man, and recording.